Saturday Night Racing League is ready to bring flag-to-flag coverage live here on VSPEED. 2.5 mile, 31 degrees of banking, opened back February 1959. Coming by to lead lap number 1, Jeff Wright by about 0.02 of a second. Gets that lap led. Across the line, Bailey Turner with 2 tires is going to get the victory.
Michael Sturgill is going to steal the win at Kentucky in unbelievable fashion.
Looking for his first career win on Saturday night. Pushed by Ryan Carlisle. Bailey Turner on the top. At a turn number 4 they come. That's fun. Turner's getting the push. There goes Cabin for the win. He gets blocked below the line. There's contact, but Bailey Turner will cross the line first.
Live from Michigan International, it is the Saturday Night Racing League presented by M&J Distributors.
Where does Reggie Ortega go? He doesn't dare 4 wide, does he? They're making contact. 24-48. With 3x3 in the turn number 1. There's 5 laps to go.
Jeff Wright's going to benefit from this if he can keep it off the wall.
He went to the middle again. There's no room for it again. That's going to hurt Jeff Wright. Push him up the track. Jeff Wright fades back.
It's over. Jack Klinger's going to claim chase race number 1 from Michigan. Live here tonight on VSPEED. It's the Monster Mile here in Delaware.
Ball hard, no less. These dry mind, no test. These whip glide like
No, it's a crack. Bailey Turner's crack.
The 24 is destroyed in turn 3.
Carlisle and Stravato came together.
And Adam Cabin is checked out. It looks like it's all over. The 17 on this new update finds another way to victory lane. The 17 of Adam Cabin is your winner at Dover.
Oh,
Happy act got nailed.
And he's still side by side somehow with Bailey Turner. It worked out for him. But Josh Adams trying to do it here at Iowa. This would be his 2nd win of the season. Klinger and Turner side by side for a second. It's going to be a battle to the line, but it's Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
Here we go, live from Homestead. It's Saturday Night Racing League presented by M&J Distributors, season 4 finale. They're going to go 3 wide for the top spot. Adams dives it to the inside in 3 and 4. Klinger on the high line. Hero's just trying to hold on to it. Off of turn 4, the final time. Ryan Carlisle is going to find his way to victory lane. Bailey Turner holds on to become the 4th champion of the Saturday Night Racing League. Well, after a 3-week hiatus, so 2 weeks in between there, we are finally back for Cup Series action and live here tonight from, well, I think my co-commentator called it the Amazon warehouse. We are in California, Auto Club Speedway, Saturday Night Racing League presented by M&J Distributors. Cup Series is live and ready to go for another one. Week number 3. We shape up the points. It's looking a little bit like what we saw last season. Bailey Turner off to a great start. And man, I tell you what, Bailey Turner has been hard to beat. Will he be our first back-to-back? It's shaping up that way. But Jeff Wright, he likes these cars a lot more. He's 7 points back with Chuck Sweeting in 3rd.
just never quite know who's going to be able to win the next one. We saw Bailey Turner steal one at this track last season from Jeff Wright. I've only been here once in a Gen 4 car. Jeff Wright took the victory in this generation of car, but obviously, as we were going to say pretty much every week, it's a different car now than it was for season 1, so this should be pretty interesting. And it's going to be kind of a day-night transition, which we haven't seen at this track a lot in the history of Saturday Night Racing League, if ever. We know last season, which was a crazy race with 10 yellows, was not a night race by any means. It was a race completely in the day, so that could make it maybe a little bit easier for these drivers to handle the race cars, but what that does mean, you're going to have a lot more speed into the corners, which could also create more chaos.
Bradley Cooper, Connor Horn, cameras provided by Dougie Beard. We've been with you all season long so far. We've been with you for 4 seasons, why not 5, as we shape up for another week here at Saturday Night Racing. A look at Auto Club Speedway, and well, Connor, you know this racetrack better than I do. What does it take to get around this place, especially in this high horsepower Generation 4 stock car?
You got to be good at tire saving. I mean, that's going to be important, even though it's probably going to be the cooler track than what we've seen in other seasons here. The track temp's 88 when the ambient temp's 85 degrees. You're still going to have to keep the tires on it, and you have to make your car work in different lanes. You got 3 to 4 lanes you can choose from. The high side's going to be working at some point, but to make passes, if that driver in front of you is planting the high side just as good as you're going to have to find some grip on the bottom of the racetrack. It's going to be a little bit harder to do that in 1 and 2 than it will be in 3 and 4. Top's a little too bumpy in 3 and 4, but right against the wall to a groove off the wall in 1 and 2, that's where you're going to see a lot of drivers running for a little part of this race, I believe. But it could be completely different when the night sets in. We will likely get to a fully dark race, which should really provide some action for all these drivers. 5 total tire sets, full fuel this season, as compared to we've been 80% until this season. And obviously the fixed setup. So everyone's on the same playing ground. But like I said, saving the tires, kind of working the lanes, I think that's your key to getting to the front and winning here.
And also keeping 4 tires and shiny side up. That's another feat all its own for this Generation 4 stock car. And we've seen glimpses of it as we've went to some intermediate and super speedway racing. But here we go for week number 3. Let's take you trackside. Get the grid up on the screen, making his appearance back here at, excuse me, at Saturday Night Racing League. It's in 9th and Ferrata, getting the pole. He'll start on the top spot with a 40.201, beats AJ Stravato by 0.02 of a second. 33 on the outside for row 1. Row number 2 belongs to Philip Brewer. Had a strong showing there at Echo Park, but looking to turn around and actually get the finish. Dakota Floyd is going to start in 4th spot after his 2 championships at the Challenger Series. Jeff Wright, our season 1 winner, will start in 5th position. Ryan Carwile in 6th. Row number 4 belongs to Joshua Banks, league sponsor there, and Chad Klinger going to start in 8th position. Angelo Horonis and Kenny Kimby rounding out the top 10. Connor Horn has 11th.
Bryce Calusa, so close at Daytona about a month ago. He starts 11th in a new paint scheme. Arctic Sim Racing on the car. Bailey Turner, reigning series champion, qualifies in the 12th position. Still trying to get a grip on this car, but already a race winner. Hunter Sr. in the Ford Taurus will start 13th. Logan Threlkeld out of the booth, back into the cockpit, starts in the 14th position with an unsponsored 12 car. Joseph McWhorter, former series champion, battling the demons in this series the last season or so. 15th for him. Josh Adams, who had a great end to last season, 16th. Ray Massey's had some pretty daring victories in this series. He starts 17th. Jared Skinner alongside him in 18th. Chuck Sweeting, a bright pink and green watermelon mobile on 19th. And Kyle Taub in the fresh from Florida #1 car. He starts 20th.
Caleb Weekly will start in 21st position. Elliott Butler, 22nd. We go back here to row number 12 with Rob Hamp, Jacob Locklear in the 84. Bryce Shoemaker and Keith Shoemaker side by side for this row number 13. Stephen Davis, Brian Chambliss, and our top 30 goes to Brandon Wallace and Broderick Vaclavic in the 87.
They start 29th and 30th. They were 1-2 about an hour ago at Atlanta in the Challenger Series. Mark McFadden, 31st position for him. Donnie Kite, former winner at Talladega, will start near the back of the field. Rob Denton, the 93, the Ricky Craven type throwback, although technically they're not throwbacks. 33rd position for him. Benjamin Richards, last hour to put a time down in 34th. J.R. Shepard, he'll be starting from way at the back of the field alongside Christopher Hodges, I believe new number for him. He's in the 15 now. Matt Shinosky, the 31, the Channel Lock 31 we've seen in the past 2 seasons, 37th. Noah Mahalski, 38th. Max Cost, still looking for that first career win. He'll start back in 39th alongside Ben Laughter. And the final driver starting tonight's Austin Belke in the DuPont number 89. That's all 41 drivers starting tonight. As there's a crash. There's a crash in turn 3. Sorry, Benjamin Richards is spinning under caution. And Belke has damage. What in the world?
Are we still going to go under green here?
We are still going green, but Belke's got a lot of damage. Richards is reset, and Hodges has damage. I didn't even see that. I don't know what happened, but it looks like we're going green.
All right, well, here we go for week number 3 of the Cup Series. Saturday Night Racing League presented by M&J Distributors. The 9th at Parada into turn 1. Green flag. Ferrata is going to lead the first lap. And I remember a race back here a while back as we have cars really close to the wall. That was the 71 and the 57, Dakota Floyd and Ryan Carlisle way up near the wall. But I remember a race back here where the 9th and Ferrata just dominated the whole day. Ended up winning the race. And he's one of those drivers that was kind of the flex between the Challenger and the Cup Series. He had the iRating cap to be in there for the Challenger, but definitely maybe one of those drivers that should have been in the Cup all along.
Should have Cup on along. I technically see the points on the screen still, by the way. There's a crash already. Caution's out. It's Chad Klinger who's crashed. I'm trying to tell you about the points on the screen. I believe Klinger's got damage now, but first caution's already out.
Why that was popping up there this entire time. I don't even have a button for it. Gotta love OBS. Gotta love OBS. We've had some gremlins here in the stream here recently.
Well, we've gotten through it, and we already have a caution, so thankfully we got a little bit of a break. But it was Chad Klinger who got some pretty big damage. He wrecked down the straightaway, and I didn't see anyone else involved.
Let's see if he had some help here. Got the 29 and the 71.
Eddie Trejo. That's actually Ryan Carwell on the outside. Horonis behind. Turner's up there. Ooh, he just turned across the 24.
24 went low. 09 went down to break the momentum.
That was a big hit. Never a dull moment between those two. Can't imagine Turner's would be happy about that. I mean, he just is way too late on the block. Also, no reason for it, lap 3. Thought he's going to avoid the wall, but just cuts down right there, and he hit that inside concrete wall pretty hard.
Get another angle from our blimp camera, now that we can actually see what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, just, you know, Turner has got a run on him. Klinger comes up in front of his line. Then Turner goes to the middle, which is clear, to get to his inside. Klinger tries to chop down on him. And he just can't get away with that. And really, like I said, no reason to do that lap number 2. I think Turner's got damage because he's coming, at least he's checking for damage because he's going to come down the pit. As we're going to try to get a view of what happened before we even went green, because we crashed before we even went green, and it involved Benjamin Richards and Austin Belke.
We're trying to catch up to it. Benjamin Richards may have crashed is all I can get to. And, you know, ATVO thinks it's got to tell me about every single time somebody passes somebody for position 30th. So I'm trying to catch up here. I apologize for kind of missing some of this.
And Chad Klinger's out of the race. He's left the session, so that's the 09's day done. It's a good thing about big tracks, though. You get long yellows.
If we can find it one more time, we're going to take another try at it here. This is under pacing.
It happens in
Benjamin
3.
Richards.
Happens in turn 3, kind of on the backstretch. The Klinger's actually rejoined the session, so maybe his day's not done. All of a sudden, I'm getting done reading the 41st position, and I see cars wrecking. I'm like, what's going on here? Let's see, it looks like
Big checkup here.
they're going to stack up. He gets in the kite, in the McFadden, 15. Oh, gosh. They weren't maintaining pace speed, and they ended... Oh, poor Austin Belke just got nowhere to go. So it's like they were catching up to the pack, and then the pack, you know, they were going too fast, and they had to check up, and it just caused a stack up. I don't think the first time that's happened. Not the last either, but
Yeah,
a
with
little
this many
embarrassing.
cars, this many cars, it's difficult. There's always kind of that accordion effect that goes back and forth. But the main thing is that you don't want to exceed that pace speed by more than a couple miles per hour, because guys check up quick, and what looked like half a car length suddenly turned into a rear bumper. Tough break there for all the drivers involved. We didn't even get green yet, and some of their races have already been changed the circumstance there.
Austin Belke, he's still got a lot of right front damage he hasn't been able to repair, so probably need at least one more yellow to repair that, and we'll see if the 09 gets back in the race. He left the session, then rejoined it. He has not rejoined the track, though. Currently showing, I think, the only driver a lap down through all that.
And I see the chats now is so focused in on getting the best camera shots imaginable, working with the new camera pack here provided by Dougie Beard. And I was too busy clicking buttons, Connor, and I apparently at some point put the points on this scene. I don't even remember doing that.
Can you imagine doing a broadcast like that, though, if the points updated live, just in the action in the background, the points just always there?
It'd be perfect for sports betting.
Yeah. If you go to Vegas, I'm sure you can watch a broadcast like that, but usually not on VSPEED.
Usually not, although I have been having some problems here lately with points displaying when they shouldn't. But what I haven't had a problem with is watching Saturday Night Racing League, and we're about to get back to the action. Here we go with the 9th and Ferrata. Let's try it again here on lap number 707 on the loud pedal. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Got me.
I had to do it. I had to do it.
You definitely got me. Everyone's off for turn 2, I think, cleanly this time. Ferrata leads, but Jeff Wright knows how to run these Gen 4 cars. Car in the wall, it's, I think, the rail kill, but he kept it straight, but Jeff Wright stalking the lead already.
There's the 48 to the outside for the top spot. Good run off of turn 4. Will he take it to the inside? He will. Making a pass already on lap number 8 all the way to the apron. 48 car looking to get a victory. Was in the booth just a half an hour ago. Now he's at the top spot. Ferrata fight back up there that high up the racetrack. It doesn't look like he can. He can't get back to the left rear, and he's going to scrape the wall.
He had a little run off of 2. He decided to just get in line with the 48, maybe try to learn something from him. But the problem with that is that he lets Stravato get a run on him, and as quickly as these guys can. Remember, most of these guys do not race with Ferrata very often. Usually, they see a name they don't know near the front of the field. They're going to try to get by him as quickly as possible. They don't want to take that risk as Ferrata chops across the nose of Stravato very late. Now he goes to the inside of Jeff Wright for the lead. But if you see a name up at the front you don't usually know, you're going to try to avoid them. You don't know how they race. You don't want to take risks. That happens a lot. That happens in official racing all the time, as we're 2 by 2 for the race lead right now. Even further back, we're 3 and 4 wide. Threlkeld in the middle of all that as Jeff Wright keeps the lead. Stravato looking for second. Banks looking for third.
He's back here with Bryce Calusa in the 20. Was 3 wide there briefly off of turn 2. Jared Skinner. Now we're looking 4 wide at Auto Club. That's about the limit here. I wouldn't go more than that.
And not too far behind this are guys who topped off on fuel and maybe repaired some damage, like Bailey Turner. He had right front fender damage. He's back there in about the 27th position, so he's got work to do. I wish you guys could see the speeds. I'm sure we'll see him later. We're going to be hitting 200 miles an hour all night long.
Telemetry with Stephen Davis deep in this field. Here's some drafting coming off of turn 2. Let's see what speed you can get up to before you hit 3.
And this is in the pack, mind you, as they're going almost 3 wide ahead of him. Even in the pack, he's going to hit 203 before having to get on the binders into turn number 3, all the way down to about 156, 155. And you go even faster down the front straightaway as Battle for the lead's on. 33 and 48 are side by side. Here comes Ferrata, kind of giving a shove to the 33. Here goes Travato. He's going to take the lead away.
And here comes the 35 of Joshua Banks getting aggressive. Peeks to the inside through 1 and 2. Ferrata shuts the door.
Oh,
Jeff Wright gets loose.
Way sideways. Huge checkup. McWhorter almost had to run into the back of a 35. And that's one of these things with the Gen 4 car. The draft is still too strong on them. Until we get the next seasonal update, they're not going to be able to update the draft until then. So the draft is still strong. You're going to see these guys utilizing the draft all night long, especially on restarts. So that's why you're really seeing the 33 kind of working the lanes, giving the guy on the inside draft and the guy on the outside draft, trying to keep them side by side because that draft is strong. It's an extra 3, 4, maybe even 5 miles an hour.
Ray Massey working on Josh Adams on the middle, line through 1 and 2, trying to follow Kyle Taub. And the number 1, 75 of Chuck Sweeting to the outside. We're mentioning cars that topped off. I believe Stephen Davis, Brian Chambliss, Ben Lapter, Brandon Wallace, and Max Koss came down to top off with fuel. It was Donnie Kite who had some damage there in the 26 from that incident with the 56 of Benjamin Richards. Richards back out on the racetrack on the lead lap. And there's Austin Belke who got the worst end of it, running still with some damage.
Always the recognizable Jeff Gordon car in the field, but oh, we got a crash. Turn 1, Dakota Floyd's around. Logan Threlkeld's around. Looks like Elliot Butler's in it too. Oh! And another car involved. It's Brandon Wallace and Noah Mahalski.
Mahalski, it ran into the back of the 57 just there.
Oh, Mahalski's destroyed. That thing is done.
Jeff Wright clipped the wall right there. I'm not sure if there's a checkup, but 57 all over the back bumper of Ryan Carwile. They're 3 wide behind him. And just no room given. The 12 runs right into the back of the 57.
Jared Skinner's in there. And then here comes Mahalski, who came in there late. You can see just destroyed the front end of the 03 totaled.
Back up here. Let's go on board with Threlkeld. You can see the draft. You were talking about how powered it is. But watch right here. This is let off the throttle, and that's how fast it happens.
They're in such a tight line, and when that happens, when you got 4 cars or even more than that in such a tight line, there's going to be a checkup before your normal entry point into the corner, and Threlkeld just wasn't ready for it, ran over Floyd, and got a few other people caught up in it.
He's on board with Mahalski.
Wreck happens, it's all near the top. Go low, think you're through it, and here comes Floyd down the track, and nowhere to go.
While that all happens, they're leading them down pit road. Here comes AJ Stravato with Joshua Banks, Jeff Wright, Philip Brewer, Joseph McWhorter. How many champions did I just name there? I think I got 3 out of the 4.
Every single one of them except the guy who's not at the front, which should be Turner.
Looking for back-to-back, and the 24 gets caught up in some things at the start, comes down and tops off with some fuel. AJ Stravato will be the command car for this next restart. 44, Philip Brewer. Gotta admire what he did there at Echo Park, leading the most laps, being able to control both lines. Let's see if he can get the finish he deserves as he wins the battle off of pit road. I believe Brewer is going to get that spot. Up to second now.
A really good pit stop, was able to gun it out of his box and get that runner-up position, and Napa 44, see what he can do. Wright 3rd, Banks 4th, McWhorter 5th. Then Carwile, Ferrata, who's back to 7th now. Then Calusa, Kibbe, Ray Massey.
So if you're just joining us this season, there are 4 different champions in 4 different seasons. And that's how competitive it is here at Saturday Night Racing League. I believe at one time, I believe it was season 3. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Connor, but we had 11 different winners. And it just goes to show how competitive every single race can be. You don't know who's going to actually find their way to victory lane until within maybe the last 10 laps.
And that season, you only had 3 drivers who won multiple races, Wright Turner and Aaron Smith, actually, in season 3. And then you had 8 other drivers who won a single race. And like we said, it shows the variety in the competition level of the series. It's been growing ever since season 1 up to what it is now. Now you have 40-plus drivers, usually week in, week out. Most of them, if not all of them, can get it done. So it just shows the versatility of this league. And that was season 3. In season 4, obviously, Bailey Turner was, if anyone followed season 4, Bailey Turner won a lot of races, 7 to be exact, but we still saw a decent amount of winners that season as well. 10 different winners last season, actually, and that's with Bailey winning 7 of the 18 he participated in, 7 of the 19 total that season. And once again, there are only 2 other drivers that won multiple races, Cabot and Josh Adams. Everyone else only 1 race apiece, so a very strong league for sure. And you can see that in the variety at the front. I mean, you got Stravato, who's not a series champion yet, Banks, Jeff Wright, Carwile, who's got a few wins in this series, Philip Brewer, who's been competing for wins the last few seasons as the night sets in on this racetrack. So I would not be surprised to get the double-digit different winners again.
Well, we've got 2 different ones already. Let's see if we can add our third. Down to second gear for this restart. Let's ride on board with the sponsor of Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series, Joshua Banks in the 35. Here we go for another green flag from Auto Club. Great restart for Banks. He's going to have the momentum on the outside here in the 1.
And he had the draft from Stravato, gave him that little bit of extra pull in the turn number 1 compared to Brewer. Got a little tight off the exit of turn 2, but he's going to have a big run down the backstretch with a little bit of help from Carwile as well. He's going to have the second spot. Might go for the lead in the turn 1 right here. Big run to the inside. Oh, he almost booted him.
Stravato shut the door there into 3. Banks is going to use all of this racetrack off the exit. See if he can get the run.
I mean, you see how important that draft is. He's just gaining so much on the 33 while being right directly behind him. Turns, different story, though. Don't really want to be directly behind someone if you're not right up behind him. If you're right on their bumper, you can get behind them, loosen them up, get by them that way. We saw that a lot 2 weeks ago in Las Vegas, but not quite the case so far tonight. Haven't seen passes like that, but it can be done.
Jeff Wright looking for the 3rd position. We've got a lot of side-by-side on back through this field. Look at this 3 wide with the 84, the 60. Car in the wall, that was Caleb Weekly.
Replay graphic up. Nope, is not a replay. This is live. 3 wide in the background. I believe we saw Jacob Locklear somewhere in the mix as well, right in the middle of it, actually, which middle can work here, but usually not where you want to be, especially with how tight things can feel out of turn number 2 as him and Chuck Sweeting almost had it coming together off the exit of the corner. That's the battle for 17th position as like they were scrambling behind him. Looked like Ryan Chambliss got a little bit squirrely, but they kept it straight.
Speeding on the high line here, coming out of turn 4. They'll hold on and get a big run here on the 13. Car sideways, 84 Locklear into the grass. And he loops it around but goes back straight. Wow.
I don't know what that was. I guess he maybe thought either Davis was going to go to the bottom or just didn't know he wasn't clear. He just came right down on him, but good 360. We keep it green.
Let's see what it looks like in the gyro cam.
Not clear to the high side, goes to the middle, and couldn't really see it from there. It looked like he was just driving straight. He was kind of coming down the track, but good 360, gathered it up in the grass, somehow kept it straight as Banks leads that lap side by side with a lead live. So thought the 60, I thought the 84 came down on him, but I'm sure they'll maybe disagree for the moment. Meanwhile, Banks gets to the front.
First lap lead of the night for the 35, and that's going to go up as our third lead change rather for the evening. Ninth at Ferrata in the 07 is running back in 10th now. Jeff Wright back in 7th. Bailey Turner has worked his way back up to 10th though. That's a driver that if you wanted to look out for, if he topped off on fuel, he's going to go a little bit further, and that's going to change where he is on tires for the most part.
Might change it a little bit. We'll just have to see how all the strategy plays out. 100% fuel tank, so don't know what the fuel window is going to look like. We might be at a 1-stop. We could be at a 2-stop. We'll just have to wait and see. We don't really know what we're going to see until these drivers end up showing us what the strategies are going to be. Might see both strategies as Kalusa piece of the wall down the back straightaway there a little bit. Lets Turner get by. Now Turner's going for 6th on Jeff Wright to the inside of the racetrack, but don't quite know what the strategy will be yet. You would think after pitting, we just pit a few laps ago, about lap 14, 15, I would think these drivers can get the maybe 55, 60 at least, but we just don't know.
100% fuel makes all the difference, but these cars definitely eat it up as we ride on board with the 9th and Ferrata. He's on that high line right now. Look at him picking up the places, now up to 9th.
Yeah, back up to that 9th position. Really the only driver looking on the outside. I mean, he has so much clean air, but could be a hindrance later in the run. You know, running the high side early when it's not worked in, he's going to scrape the wall a little bit. When you try to work it in and you're a little too early to get up that line, it can really wear the tires out. And I think that would work better on the longer run as he maybe got a piece of the wall down the tri-oval, but I just would worry about him wearing those tires out too early. Be the only one up there really in the top 15.
Here comes Joseph McWhorter. You talked about the demons that he had last season. He's kind of been in a slump ever since that championship last season. Not kind to him at all. But it could have been partly the cars. We had some problems in the background there. I think the 24 Turner got a piece of something.
I think Turner came up on Ferrata, kind of put him in the wall. Ferrata's now fighting for 9th with Kibbe. But let's see right here. Oh, yeah. I don't know if they made contact, but Ferrata tried to react to Turner to not wreck himself and just put himself in the wall because from that angle didn't have contact. But that's such a big run on the 24 that he just had to check up so quickly as he's in the wall again. He is flirting with disaster, and we're only a quarter of the way through this race.
Pushing it pretty hard here in the short run. About 10 laps on the stint. Everybody up here in this top 10 had taken 4 tires. Gonna keep it off the wall, though, to be fast. That safer barrier's definitely scrubbing speed off as we see a stab for the lead there. Here comes Joseph McWhorter for the top spot as they single file out. Bailey Turner back up to the top 5.
And you got all your former series champions in the top 5, and they're all trying to hunt down that Waste Management number 33, who's trying to become our 5th different champion this season, possibly, but looking pretty strong right now. McWhorter, he wants that race victory. It's been so long, it feels like, since it's been to victory lane. Heck, for him, I bet it feels so long since he's had a good run in this series. That's just how much of a struggle it's really been for him.
You can see that one lone car that goes up on the high line there through 3 and 4. That's 9th and Ferrata. A bit deeper in this field, 75 of Chuck Sweeting on the high line as well out of 4. Trying to get around the 20 of Bryce Kalusa.
Kalusa, decent run so far. Pretty much running where he started, but how about the guy behind him, behind his battle, who's going to be in this battle? J.R. Shepard, remember, he started back in the 35th position. He certainly wasn't that far away from our pre-race crash. He's all the way up to the 14th position already. Certainly got to be one of our biggest movers, up 21 spots since the beginning. Ben Lafter's up 19 spots, it looks like. Brodek Lavic up 12 spots, but at 98, oh wow, big wiggle from Ray Massey, 3 wide in front of Shepard, but been a good run up through the field for the 98.
And it looks like these tires starting to show some wear. 07 of Ferrata, who was making a lot of ground up earlier, kind of went stagnant right here around the 5th spot, and we're going to go 3 wide off of 2.
Bailey Turner in the middle. Ferrata's going to get 2 for 1. How about that move up to the 4th position? kind of clawing back up to when he started on pole, but still ripping the top side harder than anyone else in the field. As you know, with that draft being as strong as it is, you're not going to see that leader pull away until the tires really wear out, as Jeff Wright slaps the wall. That's kind of standard for these drivers tonight, but you're not going to see the leader pull away until the end of a run. That's what we saw with Jeff Wright at Vegas 2 weeks ago. It would take until the tires were basically on the, on the treads really to just get away, and that seems to be the case again tonight. Is big aggressive move by Ferrata, trying to get the right rear, hit the wall trying to do it, and Wright gets away.
That was Joshua Banks that put him 3 wide there just a moment ago, as Ferrata does clear the 24 of Turner. And now he's going to ride the wall, overshoots the entry, and he's going to give up 3 positions.
Yeah, you can kind of see that going into turn number 3. Overcooked it way too hard on entry.
Regain that all back, now fighting with the 35. This is the top 10. And they're all riding the wall. They're all scraping each other. They're 3 wide, maybe even 4 wide after we come off of turn 2. 75 of Chuck Sweeting now as Ferrata saves it.
Wow. Oh my goodness, I thought that was going to be 5 cars at least. He's still digging. He ain't giving up quite yet. But you think it's going to end poorly at some point, the more he keeps pushing it. That was, I think Carwile, wasn't really his fault though. Carwile came up, wasn't quite clear. I don't think Ferrata did much wrong there from that angle. And just kind of gets clipped out of nowhere. He did a heck of a job holding onto that thing. And he's still in the fight for the top 5. And he's going to slide into 7th.
We're here with Josh Adams getting past back in the 14th position. Kyle Taub just behind that, but Ray Massey starting to pick up his fair share of positions, but J.R. Shepard still on the move. Now up to 12th, 23 spots gained. Biggest mover of the race. Second biggest will go to Ben Laughter in the 64 as we single file out now.
It's starting to look like 2013 Talladega, but when we get into the corners, it's starting to look like maybe 2019 Talladega, where they were pushing 3-4 wide. But you know what? That's just Auto Club in a nutshell. We're gonna try to single file out again, but some drivers who venture towards that bottom of the racetrack, if they don't find a lane to get up, they're getting freight trained. Joshua Banks was trying to get second away. Now he's maybe falling outside the top 5 as Travato continues to lead this race. Now we're side by side pretty much throughout the top 10 as Ferrata sideways again. Carwile sideways. There goes Kibbe around. Carwile's going to spin. Caution's out. Bryce Calusa gets cleared.
This starts there with the 14 of Kibbe. I think the checkup got the 20 out of shape. We'll go back and clarify, but I want to say that this sudden checkup from the 20, if there's a contact with Carwile, yep, it was the 71 that trying to save the car, came down and clips the 20. Watch it one more time from our blimp camera.
Pretty fortunate that was only apparently 3 cars. 07 gets sideways. Carwile's going to get sideways too, and Kibbe comes up a little bit, but Carwile definitely comes off the wall as well, and nowhere for Calusa to go. Good job by Chuck Sweeting to get by all that as well. I think Carwile's going to get the worst of that because the contact with 20 completely ripped his front bumper off, as going to get another set of tires here.
So AJ Serrato leads him down pit road yet again. Last time we had a pit cycle, the 33 was up here. I think he's got a long run car. If we stay green, look out for this 33. I think he can pull away.
I think one thing I noticed on that run there, Joe McWhorter was in second for a long part of that run. It looks like Hunter Sr. missed his box, but it looked to me that McWhorter was not really trying to pass Travato. He's just sitting in line, even with how big of a run he was getting in the draft as Travato gets off pit road first. As big of a run as he was getting, he was not pulling inside to pass that 33. So it makes me think he's trying to save his stuff, maybe save some fuel. but not trying to get out of line and lose track position as well. I think that's another big part of it, because we saw with Banks, if you pull out of line, you might be going backwards.
We're going to continue our coverage, take you side by side under a caution here. Saturday Night Racing Lead, our third caution of the night. Stay tuned to VSPEED. More continues for another 65 laps after this.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Walking and Rolling Costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time, so I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
Welcome back to our coverage here from Auto Club. Lap 37 underway. You watch a stab for the lead from Jeff Wright. He had it briefly, but he falls out of the top five there. And we see another stab, ninth and Ferrata, 3 wide for the top spot.
Trying to get it from Travato, but that 33 won't quit. Ferrata a little bit wild in the middle of the racetrack. Is going to have to fall back maybe to the 4th position here, as once again that outside line, when you get all these cars in that line, it just is a total freight train down the front and back straightaway.
Well, I think for Stravato, he's doing a good job of kind of giving dirty air in the corners and then controlling the line on the momentum. He's keeping the 73 McWhorter, who's probably pretty content riding behind him, in check. There's the 24 Turner. It's going to help Stravato control this lane by having a car to the inside. Right there, some contact. Damage for the 73.
24 kind of came up the track. 73 also tried to throttle up hard to get back to his right rear. They made slight contact. I don't think damage done to either car, but I don't think McWhorter will be too happy with the 24, as I think the line Stravato's running is perfect because he's not going to the very bottom of the racetrack, at least not he wasn't, as Ferrata's a little sideways on the bottom of turn 2, but Stravato, he knows what he's doing. He knows how important track position is and how to keep it. He wants to run the bottom once he's clear of every single car and not in a battle. But if there's a driver who has a run on him, he's got to force him inside. If they get to his right rear, it's going to be much harder to defend that pass on the outside. He can force everyone low. If they don't make the pass on them, they're going backwards. It's just a constant, constant chain of drivers getting to second position and not being able to pass them.
See that door tap there with the 07 and the 48. Joseph McWard had a front row seat to that. They came off of turn 4. The SO has pretty much a front row seat as Ferrata way up the racetrack again, working that high line. It seems to work for a few laps, but I think if you're the 07, might want to go back to the drawing board because after 10 laps, it's burned.
Here goes Turner. He got too big of a run for Stravato to really defend there. Slid up right in front of him, kind of fired it into 3 hard to make that slide job work. Now he has the position on the outside of the racetrack. You're going to see Stravato fight this one back. I would think you would see Turner side drop him right here. There he goes. As now they're side by side, and they have a gap on back, so they don't really have to worry about blocking him too much. See how hard Stravato drives his car into one. Not as hard. Turner's going to get this one.
I was watching some 3 wide back here with Ray Massey. It took it to the inside. Thought Massey was going to get a 2-for-1 special off the corner. They're still side by side for the lead. Too much going on this racetrack for me to keep up with. You can go back here to around the 17th position to see more 3 wide.
I'm more impressed with Ferrata actually running the bottom, but he's not in a battle. This is a battle with Caleb Weekly. This is about 16th position, Broderick Lavick. The 87 car, Ben Laughter, and the 64 car, similar scheme to what the 20 of Calusa was driving before his crash, although Calusa's actually right ahead of this battle. He's in 15th, trying to claw back through the field under Aronis for 14th spot.
There's the 29 on the outside. We haven't mentioned his name yet today. It's Angelo Horonis in 15th as we go 3 wide again here with the 48 in the middle. Jeff Wright, this is for around 10th spot. Josh Adams starting to peek his way into the top 10. Lots of elevator moves up there in the top 5. Look at that.
All sorts of action going on. 48 kind of diving from top to bottom, going up and down elevator. I think he might have tapped Ferrata while making that move. He got a 2-for-1 special, but couldn't quite clear Chuck Sweeting, although he did get by the 07 of Ferrata. He's going to get back in line on the top side, but you can kind of see those front 2, front 3 single filing out again, not making moves for the lead. I mean, it's kind of like a super speedway. You don't want to get out of line because you're going to fall back a few positions if you don't work together. So you got to have some sort of, that was a big hit to the wall for Brewer back there, but you have to have some sort of, working relationship with the drivers around you at the front, because if you don't work well with them, you're going backwards.
Fan out down the entries of these corners, and we saw it there. Kind of got deep into a run, 15 laps or so. They single file out, trying to keep that draft. I think that's what we're seeing right now. It's just draft being so powered and getting these cars back up to one another. They try to carry the momentum into the corner. Dirty air is prevailing off these exits. Ferrata almost across the nose of Adams.
He's really flirting with disaster every single lap. He's, consistently in the top 10, but he's kind of been back and forth in the top 10. He's kind of been a part of that revolving door. He'll get to the front, try the inside, and fall right back where he came from. Now he's on the bottom trying to get by Brewer, but can't quite make it work. Josh Adams into the 10th position. Really haven't talked about him much, but he's been quietly in the top 20 pretty much all night, as there's Ray Massey with a big dive to the inside.
We're going to look 3 wide off of 4. Shepard on the outside. 6 car pushing up the racetrack. He's loose in the middle of him. Saves it.
Whew.
Almost cut the 4 off of Rob Hamp.
Yeah, Hamp had the left, lost some track position himself because of that. Which is one little mistake. When these cars are as packed up as they are, one mistake by one driver can end up with 6 cars crash, maybe even a dozen. Could even be bigger than that, but when you're bumper to bumper to bumper, just one incident like that is going to cause a ripple effect throughout the entire field.
We just saw a stab for the lead from AJ Stravato. It was off the end of your screen there. But he went to the inside of Bailey Turner off of turn 2. Because he ran that low line, he ends up losing 2 spots.
There he goes. I mean, it's so funny how it's not how the Gen 4 races. Like we said, when the update and AJ Stravado's talking in chat, he's not happy, understandably. But you know, when this update next season comes out, the draft will be weaker. But that's so funny how this car drives. I mean, he goes for the lead. He doesn't make it work as now Banks is going for the lead. They're side by side. He was leading the entire time, and now he might fall out of a top 10. He's dropping so hard.
Yeah. Yeah, you get pinched down there on the bottom, and it's just a freight train. I think that's why Ferrata has been so much on the high line. He doesn't want to be down there. He doesn't feel like he's getting the momentum. You can see it transition.
Whoa.
The 6, I think that was the 6 car.
Oh,
saves
Banks is going to get turned. Sorry. McWhorter tried giving a bump draft to Banks, and these bumpers don't line up like they do at Daytona. That was almost a disaster, but now we're in a slide job battle at the front of the field.
Quick look at the replay. Maybe Turner felt like he got moved.
I don't know, but definitely gave him a little bit of a bump there. Rob Hamp got in the wall in turn 2. We stayed green, though. Banks up to the front. It's a scramble in the top 10. Look at this mess.
Oh boy.
There it goes. Oh, how did they save that? I don't think they're done. I thought that was it right there.
Jeff Wright went through the grass. There's the 44.
Oh, it's going to be a big hit. Back into traffic. And everyone misses him.
Well, you asked how they saved it.
Oh, they're wrecking in turn 2 still. They weren't done. Hunter Sr., Keith Shoemaker, Bryce Shoemaker, they're all, Donnie Kite, they're all wrecked in turns 1 and 2. So they weren't done wrecking.
What happened here? We saw the piece of the 44 here. Let's back this up a little bit more, Connor, after this. We saw the 44. We saw that kind of live. Ooh. But watch right here. This is where you question, how did they save that? Nathan Ferrata was completely sideways and somehow taps the car, taps the wall, and saves it. But then gives it back.
Came off the wall.
Was that equal? What do you call that?
I'm not sure.
What, I just must come down.
I wouldn't see a reason to do it. I feel like it looked to me he got in the wall and tried to turn off the wall and came down. Then there's Donnie Kite. We need to get a view of what happened there. He just gets booted by
6.
Is that the 6 or was that Chambliss?
Maybe the 9. Yeah, it was the 9.
Don't know if Kite lifted for the yellow or what, but Chambliss boots him, and that's what causes a huge crash behind him. Brought back Lavick involved, both the Shoemakers, Hunter Sr. piled in late. Looked like Rob Denton might have spun, but chaotic crash. I'm not sure. I thought he hit the wall, but I really can't tell. And he hit the same wall that Chad Klinger hit. And that's not a forgiving wall.
So Joshua Banks holds the lead. Misses the pit stall a little bit.
Oh, well, there goes that. Can't be making... Track position's as important as it is. Those mistakes cannot happen. See if he's able to at least keep a top 5 spot. Looks like it might be Turner. Could be McWhorter. It's effectively a dead heat. I think McWhorter's going to get it by the smallest of margins, and he falls back to 6th. Banks does.
And we're talking about 1/10 of a second there. Sliding through the box, backing up. That's all it takes on pit road. You saw Joshua Banks down to his stall. Here's a look at the pit stop timers. Still cars on pit road that are getting damage fixed. Rob Hamp, Bryce Shoemaker, Philip Brewer still in there. Lavick, Donnie Kite. So many cars that have gotten a piece of damage from these last 2 incidents. And, you know, the aftermath, that's what I question is, did Donnie Kite lift because of the yellow, or was he lifting to go into the corner and maybe the car behind just misjudged it. I'm not sure.
The only thing I can think of is that Kite saw the crash with the 44. The yellow either it came out or it didn't, and he was assuming it was just gonna come out, so he was lifting earlier than normal, and then the 9 hit him because of that. I'm not fully sure, but either way, you know, whether it was a mistake on one driver or another, or just unfortunate, which it just seemed like an unfortunate timing sort of thing. It took a lot more drivers out of it. Kite's going to be out of it. Keith Shoemaker's out. Hunter Sr. got a big chunk of damage from that. I think I saw Rob Hamp got a piece of that as well. But, yeah, I mean, we kind of anticipated that coming, just not the way I drew it up, I guess. I mean, it was a wild sequence of events that probably should have ended with even more cars crash. But, you know, the night's settling in. Track's getting a lot faster every single second that passes. And with how strong the draft is, business is just very, very high.
Double back up here halfway through the event. Man, these laps have flown by quickly. So now that we're at that point in the race, we ask that you look for those volume knobs on that smart device, the remote control on your TV. Push the up button. It's time to get loud. Presented by FireStorm Racing. Pace car will go off here in just a moment's time, and we'll ride on board for this restart with Joseph McWhorter in the number 73 on the high line for this one.
Oh, there they go.
There's a big crash down the front stretch. Car sent down pit road.
There's Travato in it. Led so many laps. Kenny Kibbe's in it. Belkey again. Ray Massey. And that 33, he's done. Safe to say, that thing is twisted, to say the least.
Happens off of turn 4.
Somehow McWhorter got the lead out of all that.
Look, Sweeting hit the wall first. What happens here?
Oh, him and Max come together. Travato, Massey, they all just pile in. Oh, and Belkey, that's where Travato got the damage. Belkey, I think, checking up, he got booted. And just pile drove the 33. But let's see what happened between these two. 75's kind of down the track. 35's expecting that room to come up off the corner. Wasn't giving it. And right there, huge hit. That's what destroys the 33 suspension. I could not tell who hit him. He got booted. There's nothing Austin Belkey could do there. Looked to me like it was Rob Denton that got in the back of him. Yep, right there. Gotta assume Belkey checks up and Denton doesn't, and just poor Travato got all the contact from the 89.
On board with Christopher Hodges. He has a front row seat to almost comes to a stop here.
there was a contact, 93 to 89, and yeah, he basically has to stop to avoid the crash and then the aftermath of the crash. Does a good job getting through there.
Well, that happened around 5th position, and 75 of Chuck Sweeting is down pit road now. Some of that damage repaired. He's coming back out around 19th position. Pretty minor damage on the 75. I think the watermelon's going to be okay. Don't think it's bruised. A few takers down pit road.
So many drivers topping off. We believe it's around 40 laps on fuel, and we're not too far away from that number. So some of these drivers at the back, whether damaged or not, they're going to top off on fuel. Joshua Banks going to be one of those drivers who I assume will do that.
Means we're going to double back up here. Come down the back stretch. Joseph McWhorter going to be the command car again. 5 laps on the stint. We really just got back going green.
Yeah, just like that, you got a big hitter out of the race, then Servato. You got Banks having to come from the back of the field now. As a matter of fact, he's still on pit road. He might not be able to get back in the race without getting lapped. You got Farad on pit lane, who he was competitive. So you got Ray Massey, Kibbe, they were all up there. I mean, you got so many big hitters that got taken out in that one, which you would think opens the door for Wright to kind of battle for this win. Even McWhorter in second, or in the lead, has some damage, but helps Jeff Wright's case for sure.
Here we go on lap 57. Green flag back out. McWhorter gets a big jump here. You know, it doesn't look like much, but 2/10 is a lot going into a corner.
You see Hamp Banks on the apron. They'll go a lap down. But like you said, good jump by Banks, get away from the lead, or by McWhorter to get away with the lead. But Jeff Wright had a great 1 and 2 around the outside. Got a run on McWhorter. He's going to go for the lead right away.
Track position so important. Clean air on top of that, but you're going to give the draft to these guys for a few laps. Can Jeff Wright keep holding on to this lead? Come off of turn 4, more scrapes with the wall. That safer barrier has been moved over at least half a foot. It's this green flag, and here comes Angelo Horonis in the 29. Best spot for him today, up to 3rd.
He's been running top 15 all night long, but all these crashes getting through him gave him an opportunity to get into the top 5. Same thing for J.R. Shepard. He's up into that battle for that spot. Max Cost started just about dead last. He's up to 5th.
Race has flipped on its head, and the 63 on board with Max Cost. No worse to first here.
Yeah, heck of a way to get win number 1 in this series, but still got work to do to dethrone former champions like Wright and McWhorter. As Jeff Wright, it's only about 2/10, but it might be one of the biggest leads we've seen all night for the 48.
I mean, I haven't seen a gap this big since the start of the race. So whatever Jeff Wright has been kind of holding back, now's the time that he's shown it.
With everyone else kind of out of the way, it's definitely going to give him an opportunity to lead some laps, maybe try to control this hollowed field for the time being. Really, the only person along with him who's been near the front all day right now is that 73 car. Everyone else is really in the top 10 for what seems in top 5, what seems like the first time tonight. Horonis, Shepard, Koss, Stephen Davis, Caleb Weekly, Kyle Taub. And then you're looking at Bailey Turner. He's the first driver who came down the pit lane under that caution, and might be the only car who's been top 10 all night that pit under that caution. He did not take tires. He only topped off on fuel, but he's having to climb back through the field.
J.R. Shepard taking it inside. He's really sending it into one. I thought he was going to send it into Joseph McWhorter. He had the check up off the exit there. And here comes Max Koss to put the pressure on the 98.
Trying to look outside, not really going to get the run that he needs. He got 3 Monte Carlos, followed by a couple of Ford Tauruses with another Monte Carlo in there with cost. But you can see that crash, how different the field looks now. I mean, it's so much more strung out compared to what we were seeing all night before that. So in a way, it's kind of calmed this field down. Really stretched it out, stretched it thin.
I want to know where the Pontiac is.
Closest we got is the 93 of Denton, but that's still a Ford.
Oh, look at the contact there with Sweeting, and that was Shinosky in the 31.
It looked like Sweeting came up a little bit, but that's about the second or third time we've seen a big save off of turn number 2. It kind of hurt Sweeting more than it hurt Shinosky.
It's his 15th position now for Sweeting. He lost a couple spots after that checkup. Shinosky in 12th. Looking back up front, holding on to the lead. Just McWhorter has a hornet's nest behind him. Here comes Horonis again.
Looking to the inside, trying to get Shepard, but even with, you know, kind of a strung out field, that outside line, all the cars in it, still going to have that draft, still going to have that momentum, so Kost going to motor on by about 5 miles an hour faster down the back straightaway.
Stephen Davis also joining this picture, and I'm going to say it's kind of a 180 from what we saw at the beginning of this race. A lot of the cars that are in this top 10, Connor, didn't start in the top 20.
Definitely right now a night for the underdogs, and it's a relatively quick race. At least it feels like it is right now. I mean, we still got 35 laps to go, plenty of time, but it felt like we were only 25 laps in 10 minutes ago to me, as Kost has a wiggle off of turn number 4. But like you said, really good night for the drivers who didn't start near the front. Only 1 or 2 drivers tonight who started top 10 are in the top 10. That's Wright leading, and Horonis, who started 9th. Everyone else started 12th or worse. McWhorter started 15th. Shepard and Kost started outside the top 35. Stephen Davis 27th. I mean, Ben Lapker started 40th. He's up to the top 10. It feels like everyone who started top 10 is outside the top 20 right now.
Brandon Wallace, winner. Brandon Wallace got the victory over at Echo Park, running in 17th right now, has the 6 of Josh Adams riding on board with him. Not getting a clear look at his face right now, but definitely getting a clear look at the Goat Locker Racing, and one of the series that we pick up here on VSPEED 5 days a week. Showing the support there for GLR and crowd supporter of SNR as well. Wallace kind of hemorrhaging some spots though. So he's got a couple more cars behind him here that just got by. And now here comes Rob Denton, maybe to put him down 1 more spot.
After Denton, he's got no pressure though. Everyone else left in the field, even lead lap, are pretty much cars that are totaled. Kibbe, Chambliss looks clean. Shoemaker looks okay, but they're way off the field. Hodges and Shoemaker actually battling for position way off the pack for 21st, but at the front, just much more calm with all the cars out of the line, as Max Kost not making it look so calm. He started fading a little bit. He's back to 8th now, trying to get back around Kyle Taub, but can't quite do it, as should start to see Bailey Turner get into the field soon. At least I thought we would, but once again, he only took fuel, and actually,
he's
coasting.
He took fuel and he's saving it. I'd say it's probably part of it.
I said it was close to a 40-lap number, so all those guys who didn't come down to top off, we know they can't make it. Looks like Bailey Turner, if it goes green to the end, he's going to be trying to make it. And I don't hear anyone else ahead of him trying it. So you got to think he's the furthest up trying this strategy.
He's been known to do that and get away with it. A lot of wins last season, and he's had wins throughout all 4 seasons that we've completed. And a few of those were fuel strategy races, and Auto Club is notorious for that. A big track like this, you don't want to run out of fuel, though. If you run out of fuel, it is an eternity to get back to pit road. 2-mile racetrack, not a place you want to be empty.
I believe season 3, if I'm not mistaken, I might not have been there for that one. I'm pretty sure he won that race on fuel strategy here in a 100-lap race, beating Lakatos Hutt and a few others for the win. So yeah, he's no stranger to doing it, maybe in a different car, but still knows how to save fuel. He's one of the best at doing it, and one of the only ones who's really willing to take that risk in this series. It's going to be a stretch. That's about 4 to 5 extra laps of fuel he'd have to save, but if he's the only one on this strategy, I guess why not? That would be 3 in a row at this track, by the way. He already did that at Daytona. He's looking to do it at a second track.
That's one of those psychological things that once you break out of that shell and the confidence boosts every single week, you get a championship, you're looking to defend it. Keep doing what you were doing last season. That's all it really boils down to. Just keep being consistent. And Turner with the points lead coming into tonight. He's going to try something outside the box, whatever it takes to win.
And even though he's, saving all this fuel, I mean, he's able to keep with the lead pack. And more importantly than that, not just staying with them, he's drafting off them. He's able to go faster into the corners. He can lift earlier. He can coast longer. That's that's one perk, I guess, if you're trying to save fuel in a package like this where the draft is so strong. It just helps him save that extra bit of gas that no one else in the field can right now. Jeff Wright, Clean Air, he wouldn't be able to save it even if he tried. Even where McWhorter is, it wouldn't be working for him. I mean, he's in the perfect spot right now.
Say proudly from J.R. Shepard on back is the only realistic goal in saving that fuel, and nobody up here is doing it ahead of Bailey Turner. Like I said, highest up, it's actually trying as he gets right up on the back bumper of Max Kost, follows him down to the apron.
Trying to get any bit of draft possible, and you can see right there how much earlier he's lifting. He's actually not getting on the brakes earlier because you can see him gain back on Kost through turn number 1, gains back on him at a turn number 2, but he's got such an advantage on him, he's gonna have to pass the 63 for position.
Still a really good day for Max Kost. If he can run this through, I know most of these guys in the top 10 are committed to making one more stop. Kost could definitely pull off a top 10. If he executes on pit road, he can bring it home. 6th, 7th position, I think, is where I would project him if he can get in and get out quickly.
Caution. Scratch all that. Kenny Kibbe's coming out of turn 4.
And just like that, everything I said doesn't mean a word. It's over. Kenny Kibbe sideways off of turn 4 here on lap 73. And by himself.
Looked like it at least. And Bailey Turner definitely regretting not trying to get the race lead away. He didn't lose a set of tires or use an extra set, so not a too big of a deal. Yeah, he just loses on his own. Car's damaged, so not handling as well, I'm sure, but definitely looped it on his own. There goes Banks and Bryce Shoemaker by, having to split them. That saved Nathan Ferrata. He was about to go 1 lap down after exiting the pits late. Saves him. Also, I believe, might save Josh Adams. He might be the lucky dog.
I think he's going to get that free pass position here. Lucky pass to the 6 of Adams. 9th of Ferrata does not go a lap down. Philip Brewer with heavy front end damage is still on the lead lap. Kudos to him. I'm going to give driver of the day to the 44, Philip Brewer. He has stuck this thing out, even with a car that has no front end at all. He's still out there on the racetrack.
Joint driver of the day. Ryan Carwile having to do the same thing. He's been a modified for a while, and he's also still lead lap, fighting for everything he can, getting any damage repaired that he possibly can. This should be the 3rd set of tires, so should have 2 for most drivers. third set of tires, so should have 2 extra sets left.
Everybody's taking 4 here, I can tell you that. 20-some laps on this stint. This will put you in the green to go to the end. Got to take 4 this time. No gambles.
It might be the 4th set. I might be miscounting, but you either have 1 set or 2 sets left, so going to be restarting with about 24 laps to go. Having 1 set left would probably be ideal. It'd be interesting if someone had 2 sets left, but I'm not sure how much that would help. You really haven't seen that much fall off. 40.1 was Jeff Wright's fastest time, as Wright's going to get beat out of pit lane by McWhorter, so there's a change for position on pit road. That could be a very interesting and a very important pass.
Did he, though? It looked like it to me, but...
Did he speed? Is the question. I mean, he definitely beat him.
I don't agree with the timing and scoring on that one.
No, he definitely sped.
I guess so. I'm not seeing a black flag pop up here. So they cleared it really quickly, but I didn't see a black flag, so he is dropping to the tail end.
They sometimes just don't show up. That's an iRacing thing, but definitely got caught for speeding there. Got a little too fast. You know, you try to push it as hard as you can out of your box. I saw him get to about 57 for a little bit too long. And that's all it took. Jeff Wright dodges a bullet.
There's been laughter in the 64 machine up to the top 10 now for this restart. Up 30 positions. Still got a lot of cars up here in the top 10. Big check up there.
Now we're going to see another one. That was Wallace into Caluso almost, as you got teammates Laughter and Calusa bumper to bumper. So if they didn't have different numbers, you wouldn't be able to tell who's who. But could be a big opportunity for J.R. Shepard on this restart. Although Jeff Wright, you know, we know he's good at restarts. He can just get away and get clear through turn number 1. It's going to be tough for Shepard to do anything. But in this situation, the pusher is important too. I mean, if you get a good shove into turn number 1, you could gain an extra position in comparison to what you would have. So the drivers 3rd and 4th are almost just as important here.
Heating up the tires here for a 24-lap stint. This is kind of fitting into the wheelhouse of some of these guys that were pushing hard earlier, but Anayat and Farada not in the picture anymore. I didn't see anybody else that was really trying the high line as much as he was. But now we're in the game where that might work. If you can coddle it, take care of it, you might just get to the lead from the high line and never look back. Jeff Wright on the top of the board again, and a big jump with the 13 of Caleb Weekly. Look at that. He's going to go up to 2nd.
And he had a good run going. He was 5th before the yellow. He's going to get some positions on pit road and also going to get one on the restart here. Trying to get around the outside of Shepard. Big wiggle for Stephen Davis, but he kept it straight. But big battle for 2nd. That's exactly what Jeff Wright wants. Now this has got to be the biggest lead a driver's had all night, and it's only on a restart.
Weekly still not able to clear Shepard.
Shepard's got him.
On board with Weekly. A little bit of trail break into 1 and 2. Running that higher line. He's going to hold on to 3rd, maybe. Angelo Heronis dove to the inside just now. We can get it done.
And he has to get right back in line. Turner's going to dive to the inside behind him, but you see that trail breaking. Even at a track this fast, you're going 205, 206, but you're still not going to be using too much brake. Probably no more than 10%. No, you don't want to really go heavy on the brake and slow up too much. You need to keep your momentum up. you also need to have enough rear brake in it to keep it rotating. Too much front brake, that thing's going to go straight in the corner, and you're not going to be able to rotate the car. So I think rear brake, at least for me, it's always been important to have it down in the 50s in most cars just to get it to rotate in and out of the corner.
And yeah, I can confirm this is the biggest lead on a restart that we've seen all night long. 13's going to fall back to 4th. Kyle Taub outside with Bailey Turner. Here's the 75 of Sweeting again. And Ben Laughter is moving up positions one at a time. Little scrape of the wall, though.
There goes his momentum. There goes Shanoski's going to look for that 9th position. Going to get it away. Here comes Kalusa. Won't have time to really make a move on his teammate. Chuck Sweeting just slammed the wall a little bit. He kept it straight, but almost like he got lost in a turn number 1 behind Kyle Taub. Turner in that battle trying to get by the 1 car, can't quite do it as Laughter settles back in line behind Shanoski and Stephen Davis.
Max Costa falls back to 12th. On the high line here with the 84. It's a Hornet's nest back here from 10th on back.
Yeah, we didn't see this a lot the previous run. Now, maybe drivers thinking it might be the final of the race, getting a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more up on the wheel. So you're seeing more tight-knit racing again in the middle of the field as Costa in the wall. Ferrata kind of back in the fight for a top 10, kind of shoving him down the back stretch. They're 3 wide in here with Chambliss at the top. Kibbe's in there who spun on the last to bring out the last caution. We're pushing 4 wide at Auto Club. Wouldn't have it any other way, but run out of room here quick.
Handled it pretty well there off of turn 4. We're right on board with Kenny Kibbe. He cut the driver in front of him a little bit of a break. He could have forced the issue, but now he'll get the position from Josh Adams, trying to chase down Brian Chambliss in the Sinclair Chevrolet.
Bailey Turner going to work near the front, trying to get 4th away from Caleb Weekleys. Charging through this field, trying to get to that 48th of a lead. He's got the 4th position done.
He has less than 20 laps to get up there. And that's, even with the draft, that's still, that's a lot of work to do because you get to Jeff Wright. He's going to defend you. He's going to try to keep you back, burn your stuff up. I don't know what it's going to look like here for Turner. He went from one strategy to another. Now it's push.
He probably got so used to saving fuel that he had to try to relearn how to drive the car hard, and now he's pushing his stuff, having to advance to a different strategy as Locklear and Laughter almost had contact in the back. But in his interview at Daytona, he's kind of said how he's still learning this Gen 4 car, that it's not his strong suit, but making it look pretty easy tonight. But winning at Daytona is, I wouldn't say easy, but definitely a different skill set. If he could take down Jeff Wright on a track that only Jeff's won on in this series in a Gen 4 car, that'd be a pretty big step towards learning this car, but still got work to do as he closes in on them.
The 07 of a Nathan Ferrata back to the top 10. I was mentioning that earlier. If you were going to run the high line, this is the stint that it'll work out. I think he's going to get up here at least to 7th or 8th position before this race is all said and done. And he's been one of the few cars that's been committed to this line all race long.
Yeah, he's still trying it, going out swinging. It's just such a cool track, and Knight's fully set that, that top was not really coming in as much, but now you're starting to see more drivers kind of running up there, not really because it's necessarily the faster line, but staying on the outside part of the racetrack, being in the draft line, is so important that drivers are trying to protect their right rear, trying not to get pinned to the inside part of the racetrack. Jeff Wright is really the only one who has the luxury of being able to run the bottom of the racetrack without having to really defend right now, because J.R. Shepard just can't quite get close enough to battle him. That could change if 24 gets there, but he just got to the inside of the 29, couldn't quite make the pass work, as it's like Ferrata had to get back in line behind Laughter.
Yeah, Weekly going to try this higher line as well. Turner going to pull away, though.
Oh, we got a spin, turn 2, big crash, Bryce Calusa, Josh Adams, Brandon Wallace. They're all on the outside wall, destroyed. That thing's done.
This thing got launched into the wall.
I've never seen a car destroyed like that. I mean, both suspensions were ripped off the car. As this happens in front of Calusa. Looks like McWhorter and Adams came together, and nowhere for Bryce Calusa to go.
Looks like the 99 of Brandon Wallace also gets a piece of this. Let's go up here and look at what happened to Joseph McWhorter, because he was part of this, and I think there's contact with the 6 car.
Yeah, they definitely hit the 6 car. There's just nowhere for the 20 and 99 to go. I couldn't quite see if anything led to this. I saw them hit before a 73 hit. That's unrelated. Adams goes to the inside, doesn't fully commit to the white line. Looks like McWhorter kind of went for a gap that he thought was there. There was no room for it. Kind of just boots Josh Adams and kind of causes that crash. We'll get a better view on his front bumper. He commits white line. Adams kind of inches down there, but doesn't fully quite get there. It's not really there. He thinks there is. It's not. Maybe the 6 checks up more than he thinks it's gonna. It just wasn't there. I'm sure they'll talk about that one. Meanwhile, pretty much everyone's on pit road.
Imagine that. Everybody coming in. Do we have any tires left? Yes, we do. Jeff Wright taking probably the last set of the night with around 10 to go when we go back green. If you didn't save an extra set, you're probably kicking yourself right now. And the 9th and Ferrata going to lose a ton of ground here on pit road. Slip through his box. Jeff Wright will be the command car for this next restart. Don't go anywhere. We have more coverage to continue on VSPEED, the Saturday Night Racing League, presented by M&J Distributors, the Cup Series at Auto Club. Back with more after this.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Back here live from Auto Club, Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series in the week number 3, about to get really hot as we go 10, 11 laps to go. Green flag is out. Jeff Wright, he just has to control it for 10 more laps, but he's got a lot of cars behind him that are working their way back up here that were competing at the beginning of this race.
Goes Turner. Shepard didn't really get a good restart. Turner's going to look 3 wide to the top side, make it 2 wide because Shepard cleared that 29 car, but Turner couldn't quite get to the 98's right rear.
Rodas jumps in line. We got 3 wide back here around the 9th position. Caleb Weekly drops to the inside. Going to use these fresher tires to his advantage. Kitty Kibbe in the middle. He gets loose.
Woo! Oh, they're stacking up in behind. Black Lavick and Locklear almost crashed. Everything about Wealth on back is a logjam right now.
There's Joseph McWhorter, who's trying to recover his day after the contact there with the 6 car. Meanwhile, Jeff Wright pulling out to over 0.2 of a second. Continues to hold this massive lead on these restarts. I don't think anybody's got anything for the 48 unless Bailey Turner can find his way up here.
He's got to get by Shepard, which obviously he does to have a chance at the win, but Shepard just can't really get close to the 48. He doesn't have enough of a push from the 24 to get him up there. Plus Turner's having to deal with the 29, although I think they're going to bump draft together, but Shepard can't get enough of a run on the 48 to really challenge it. He drives it into the corners. I would say, at least last run, he was driving it in too deep, and he's just not getting the exits that he needs to stay with the 48 right now.
Everybody trying that high line. Ferrata was showing him how to do it earlier, but it seems like it's worn in too much. And for Jeff Wright, it's working to his advantage. You can see everybody else up high. Shepard and Wright down low.
Yeah, like you said, everyone tried it there. 29, 24 tried to wind it up, but it just didn't work. They didn't get enough of a run as there goes the 29. Going to look to the inside for that position. Ferrata's actually going to push to 24. So Corona's now in a bad spot, kind of stuck on the bottom. Turner, once again, just trying anything to get an advantage on the guys ahead of him. Trying with a way high side, but it's just not there. Not as much as you would think it would be. Maybe if it was a day race, it'd be different. 3 wide for third. Turner's going to get it back, but just not enough of a run building.
He's now trying the low line.
He's got Ferrata
follows
packing
him
air.
down there.
That's the thing. If he goes down there, he's got someone packing air on the rear of the car. It's not going to help him as he's kind of trying. You can see him not even really trying to follow the draft of the top 2, just kind of trying to shake the 07 off of him. As you know, that time by 7 to go, he's running out of time to figure something out. As he's got about 3/4 dozen cars lined up behind him.
Janowski taking a stab for the top 5. Soronas and Ferrata. And Ferrata's still making it work decently. It's not the best that we saw. The 07 has definitely figured out that line as you see some sparks from 4 or 5 different cars following the 07 up there. And now they break away from the top 4.
Ferrata, in fact, one would call it. That time by Turner was faster than 2 ahead of him, but it was only by hundredths. Now he goes to the bottom. Ferrata not packing air. He's just not getting through the corners with that much speed. Now Ferrata's going to have that run on him. This is actually the closest Shepard's been to the back of Jeff Wright, but it's almost like he lifts at the end of the straightaway, not wanting to make that move. Because it seemed like he had a run. He just didn't use it. Spin in the back. Caleb Weekly saved it. He got booted by Jacob Locklear. As 13 not happy with that, but we keep it green. Just a little bit of contact right there. Locklear slid up the track and got a little bit tight, it looked like. Weekly had a good save. Now 4.5 laps to go.
Snaking down the back stretch. Jeff Wright trying to break that draft. Does J.R. Shepard have something for him? I don't know. I mean, he gets to his bumper, but like you said, it seems like he gets the momentum, and then he backs up like he's afraid to take a stab at it too early. He's going to run out of chances.
What it feels like. That's what it almost feels like. It feels like he's trying to time it. It might be like a drafting race, but this is not the type of race I'd want to time the final pass on. You need to get the lead any ways possible whenever you can. You can't just... I don't like waiting for the final lap if that's what he's doing. Maybe he's not, but...
It'll allow Jeff Wright to save his tires, too, every time you do that.
As long as he catches on, yeah. What I think it is doing is... What I think it is doing is keeping Bailey Turner at bay in third. It's as close as he's been. He just can't really do much with the 98. Sliding out of turn number 4. Free to go.
They're all sliding at this point. We're now 11 laps, hard laps on this stint. These guys have been pushing it.
One thing I heard is
that
the wall. Chuck Sweeting is going to fall out of the top 9. I think one thing that hurts is that the tire fall off is just minimal. I mean, 0.4 of a second in about 7 laps. It's not that bad.
I feel like these tires have a lap that they just go away, though. And we're getting close to that lap. I think it was about lap 12 on that one stint where we had a caution. These guys just going to hit that on the white flag.
They're going to hit the apron as much as they can. At this point, Jeff Wright's all over the track trying to snake the draft. No one else is going to his dirty air. He's running that bottom of the racetrack. He's forcing Shepard up the racetrack, who had a big wiggle. That might give Turner a run at it for second. That really might be all Jeff Wright needs to get away. Well, Turner lift off.
See if they can time it. Ferrata on the high line. Can he get up here to the podium?
Gonna get the white flag. 1 to go.
One more time around from Auto Club. Jeff Wright has led 45 laps side by side for second. Turner's going to try to take it.
Yeah, Shepard just was too busy trying to stay in the 48's draft line. He couldn't block the 24, but Turner just couldn't get through 1 and 2.
Oh, man. 48 got really loose there off of 2. It's going to be an opportunity.
It's going to have to be a big dive.
It's not going to work. Now it's defense as Ferrata takes a stab for third. 24 on the outside. It's going to be really close. McWhorter. And it's going to be Jeff Wright getting the victory. Joseph McWhorter coming across the line in the grass. And Nathan Ferrata loses third by 0.04 of a second. J.R. Shepard held on to within a 10th, but Bailey Turner was door-to-door with Ferrata coming off of 4. He'll get third position.
Ferrata and Kenny Kibbe crashed. Looked like Max Cost and Jacob Locklear also had a crash. Chaotic crash in the race, but Jeff Wright did what he needed to do. It's another victory. Caleb Weekly crashed across after the checkered flag as well.
Congratulations to Jeff Wright on another victory here in the Cup Series. He's going to burn it down on the front stretch.
Lowe's 48 gets a second at Auto Club all time.
Post-race interviews with your top 3, those final race results, and first thing we got to talk about is, well, we had a tie here, I do believe, for the biggest mover of the race. But based off of higher position, we're going to have to give it to J.R. Shepard in the number 98. He is going to be the Clark Print Shop biggest mover of the race. More coverage will continue here on VSPEED right after this. Saturday Night Racing League is ready to bring flag-to-flag coverage live here on VSPEED.
2.5 mile, 31 degrees of banking, open back February 1959.
Coming From by the lead lap number 1, Jeff Wright by about 0.02 of a second gets that lap led. Across the line, Bailey Turner with 2 tires is going to get the victory.
Michael Sturgill is going to steal the win at Kentucky in unbelievable fashion.
Saturday night, pushed by Ryan Carlisle. Bailey Turner on the top. At a turn number 4 they come. That's fun. Turner's getting the push. There goes Cabin for the win. He gets blocked below the line. There's contact, but Bailey Turner will cross the line first.
Live from Michigan International, it is the Saturday Night Racing League presented by M&J Distributors.
Where does Reggie Ortega go? He doesn't dare 4 wide, does he? They're making contact. 24-48. We're 3 by 3 in the turn number 1. There's 5 laps to go.
Jeff Wright's going to benefit from this if he can keep it off the wall.
He went to the middle again. There's no room for it again. That's going to hurt Jeff Wright. Push him up the track. Jeff Wright fades back.
It's over. Jag Klinger's going to claim chase race number 1 from Michigan. Here tonight on VSPEED. It's the Monster Mile here in Delaware.
Ball hard, no less. These dry mind, no test. These whip glide like
It's a crash. Bailey Turner's crash.
The 24 is destroyed in turn 3.
Carlisle and Stravado came together.
And Adam Cabin is checked out. It looks like it's all over. The 17 on this new update finds another way to victory lane. The 17 of Adam Cabin is your winner at Dover.
Oh, happy act got nailed.
And he's still side by side somehow with Bailey Turner. It worked out for him. But Josh Adams trying to do it here at Iowa. This would be his 2nd win of the season. Klinger and Turner side by side for a second. It's going to be a battle to the line, but it's Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
Here we go, live from Homestead. It's Saturday Night Racing League presented by M&J Distributors, Season 4 finale. They're going to go 3 wide for the top spot. Adams dives it to the inside in 3 and 4. Klinger on the high line. Herodes just trying to hold on to it. Off of turn 4, the final time. Ryan Carlisle is going to find his way to victory lane. Bailey Turner holds on to become the 4th champion of the Saturday Night Racing League. Welcome back to our post-race coverage of Saturday Night Racing League. Auto Club Week 3 was phenomenal, and we finish up 100 laps for 200 miles here for Week 3. Jeff Wright finds his way to victory lane for the 2nd time. Race recap at the top of your screen. 7 cautions, 8 lead changes. A lot of cars that were fast, like AJ Stravado, like Joseph McWhorter, and even Bailey Turner found themselves outside looking in at the tail end of this race. Just strategy flip or getting caught up in cautions. A lot went on here tonight, but there's your top 3 with Wright, Shepard, and Turner. We'll get a word with those guys in just a moment. It's a 9th and Ferrata by 3/10. I don't... No. That was less than that. It was around 0.06 of a second, 0.05 of a second, that those two were going back and forth out of turn 4. Misread that one. Angelo Horonis getting a top 5. Good finish for him. Matt Shanoski, solid day. Ben Laughter, solid day for him as well. McWhorter recovers up to 8th. Kenny Kibbe, who we saw sideways out of turn 4, probably going to get a penalty for that one. And then Chuck Sweeting turns over the luck from Echo Park, and he'll come home in 10.
You didn't quite see what happened with the crash, but we had multiple drivers crash at the line and after the line. Jacob Locklear didn't really talk about him a lot besides a few sideways moments he had, but he did get 11th place out of the day. Max Costa, decent 12th place for him, up from 39th position. Ryan Chambliss 13th, Kyle Todd 14th, Bryce Shoemaker 15th. He was involved in some incidents and recovered to a top 15. Stephen Davis 16th, Broderick Vaclavic 17th after the runner-up finish at Atlanta Echo Park a few hours ago. Christopher Hodges, new number, 18th place for him. He got through half the field technically from starting 36th. Caleb Weekly, he'll be disappointed with that. Got not a penalty on pit road on the last caution, but got shoved through their box by, I think, the one of Taub. Relegate hit them through the field, 19th for them. Rob Denton, 20th position from 33rd starting position.
There was also contact there with a 13, and I forget who it was. Someone moved him out of the way.
Locklear.
Yeah, moved him out of the way and put him deep in the field as well. Benjamin Richards is going to finish in 21st spot, and there's Ray Massey in 22nd. Ryan Carlisle in the 71. Philip Brewer definitely had top 5 speed. The Joshua Banks also. Those are the other cars I failed to mention there. With you had McWhorter, you had Servato, but those two as well, Brewer and Banks, they never could recover. They got destroyed there in one of those big wrecks. Then you go back to Skinner in 26th, Hunter Sr. 27th. Calusa is going to finish in 28th, Brandon Wallace 29th. Josh Adams will round out 30th.
Rob Hamp 31st. Didn't talk about him much. Travado, the dominant car in the first half of the race, was wrecked on a restart. Then pile drove by Belke, who got hit by Denton. So Travado not happy about how this race went down. Austin Belke, he didn't even get a chance before the race started. He got damaged. Finished 33rd tonight. Keith Shoemaker 34th. He was caught up in that crash with Donnie Kite that happened after the caution came out. They get 34th, 35th. Elliott Butler 36th. Logan Threlkeld involved in the first caution, I believe, 37th, or the second caution, 37th. Dakota Floyd along with him 38th after starting 4th. Tough day for him. Mahalski 39th. Mark McFadden in 40th. And first driver out, the first caution of the night was Chad Klinger. Turned off the nose of Bailey Turner. Another instance of contact between those two, and put Klinger in the garage for good.
Now it's time to talk to your post-race interviews and get our top 3 up into the broadcast booth. And Connor, we're going to do this in reverse this time. I think we're going to do this format where we talk to the winner first. Jeff Wright is going to be in Victory Lane. Connor Horn, you've caught up with him.
I do have Jeff Wright. Victory Lane, Jeff again, second win at Auto Club all time. I believe second win in a row, dating back to Vegas a few weeks ago. Something about the Gen 4 car and the 48 car, they go well together. You led about half the race. Take us through how the race went from your point of view, because you got track position at the right time after that big crash.
Yeah, for sure. We were kind of fortunate with the way strategy worked out tonight. We had some guys, top off there. Maybe we're going to make it on fuel, and I just didn't want to give up the track position. I mean, I spent, a lot of the race, 10th or around there just in the draft. And it's just so hard to make any progress when the draft is that strong. And so I elected to kind of take a gamble a little bit, stay out and keep that track position, maybe hope a yellow fell for me. And thankfully it did. And then, from that point, we were able to put tires on it, fill it up. And then we're just going to have a sprint to the end there. And just hoping it would stay green again. Really didn't want a late race restart. Feel like this is a little bit of redemption from last season here at Auto Club. So to come back here under the lights, get a W at Auto Club, that's awesome. And get another win. That's just great too, just for the playoffs, getting extra bonus points. So especially if we're going to try to make a run at taking that championship back from Bailey, who won last year, and see if we can't get ourselves back in that conversation. So awesome night. I don't know if I can say it was a ton of fun with the way it was drafting. I don't think a lot of the guys would, but despite all that, we were able to figure out how to get a win tonight.
That's what I was about to ask you about, because obviously we were making a big point of it tonight, how strong the draft seemingly was. I mean, the biggest lead for the race leader tonight couldn't have been more than 0.4 of a second. How was it from your point of view, from being at the front of it to being in the draft as well? How frustrating was it? Because it seemed like anytime someone went to the bottom, made a move, it was like a super speedway. You just go to the back like you saw 33 do.
Yeah, it really was. And, if you didn't have any sort of help or a line of cars on the inside, I mean, you were just, like you said, falling straight to the back. And, first part of the race, we felt like we, qualified fairly well. I tried to make a kind of a push and see if I could get the lead. I thought, maybe the clean air would mean something, but Although the car handled better, you couldn't get away from anybody. And so after that, I kind of just had to deal with it and try to, take care of my stuff and hope that we get a somewhat of a long run. And I think through the portions of the race there, we did a little bit, but just so draft dependent. I can't wait for that new update to hit this Gen 4 car and maybe make it race a little bit better, so it's not so draft dependent. But straight line draft, but even side draft on this thing is just ridiculous. So I'm hoping that this is the last race that we've done a league race in with this draft package in this car, because I think I'll really enjoy the car even more if it's maybe not as much draft dependent. So. But all in all, can't complain too much. Walk out of here with the W. It's good for our momentum, good for our points. And we'll go on to Rockingham, I believe, and see what that's like.
Yeah, either way, draft or not, it was good enough for win 17 in this league. So you put another one on the tally ahead of Turner for the all-time mark. And another congratulations goes to you. Anyone else you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, thank you guys up in the booth, you, Connor, and Bradley. You guys do awesome work. Doug with the cameras, Logan Threlkeld, all the other producers at VSPEED that put this product on. It's awesome to have such a quality broadcast team like you guys. And then obviously all of our sponsors, M&J Distributors being the title sponsor for our series. They've been, such a great partner these past several seasons and have made it possible for us to continue to do this. And then, Walk and Roll in Costumes, FireStorm Racing, Juicy Spider Studios, Clark Print Shop, 29 Graphics. I want to make sure everybody that helps this league out financially gets the shout out that they deserve. Because, like I said, can't do this without them, and their support means everything and allows us to put on Saturday Night Racing League.
Well, Jeff Wright, likely the points leader after another win in this series. Jeff, thanks for talking to us. See you next week at Rockingham.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
There you have it, your race winner, Jeff Wright, adding his second win. It was 3 weeks ago, Connor, that we were talking to him in Victory Lane. Seems like he's enjoying this Gen 4 car.
I definitely think he is. I mean, we saw it in season 1 how dominant he was in the first season, that when we drove the older model of Gen 4, it's like he never left and it's like it never changed. And even with the draft changes, he was still able to find a way to get through the field and get that track position and get yet another victory.
Well, moving down our finishing order for our top three, I've caught up with J.R. Shepard, our second place finisher. And Shepard, it looked like, and pardon me if I'm wrong or maybe overstepping, but it looked like you were trying to time the pass at the end of this race, more like a last lap stab at 3 and 4, versus you had a few runs there that I thought you were going to take that shot at the lead and maybe at least hold up Jeff Wright.
Yeah, definitely. It was kind of a risk versus reward situation there. I was hoping that me and Jeff could kind of race it out there at the end. We had pulled away on that restart, but then the pack started to catch us, and you're kind of moving around because of the way the draft works to prevent that run on the top side from happening. And Jeff was smart too. He moved down exactly where I needed to be through 3 and 4 to make a good run on him. So kind of went away there. At that point, it was just trying to maintain a top 3 position. It's been a kind of rough season, so trying to get some stuff rolling here.
Well, you got it rolling this week. Second place, nothing too shabby about it. And this race was everybody racing for the same spot. It seemed like everybody from, first back to 10th were all racing for the same piece of real estate, especially early on in this race.
Yeah, definitely. The the high line was the place to be. Ultimately, you can make that low line work for a lap or two on the restarts when everybody kind of got bottled up on corner entry there. But everybody wanted to be up top, and everybody was fighting to be up top. And there was a couple of close calls coming through the field because I decided not to qualify tonight, figuring there would be a few accidents, and I just didn't think they'd be that close to me. So yeah, I got very lucky tonight, for sure. And things just played out. It's a chess game out there, and it's difficult to figure out when that one groove is the preferred place to be.
I think chess at 207 miles per hour at some points in this race, and you come home in the top 3. In fact, you are the Clark Print Shop biggest mover of the race. You gained 33 spots to be up here in the top 3. Congratulations on that.
I appreciate it, guys, and thank you for everything you guys are doing on VSPEED, the Saturday Night Racing League, for putting this on. M&J Distributors for being the title sponsor. It's a great place to race, and hopefully we get some more runs. Get to talk to you guys a little bit more throughout the season.
J.R. Shepard, second place here at Auto Club. We'll see you in just a week's time when we move on to, well, I had the schedule and I lost it. So tell me where we're going next week there, Connor. I think it's
Rockingham.
The Rockingham. Yes. So we'll see you in 1 week's time at the Rock.
All right. Sounds good, guys. Thank you.
I'm all over the place tonight, Connor. You got to forgive me.
I'm gonna get you a cue card.
Yep, I need it. Well, you know what? Don't buy a house. That's what it is. My mind is elsewhere. But you are down elsewhere with Bailey Turner, third place finisher tonight.
We're not sitting in a brand new house like Bradley, but we are sitting on pit road with Bailey. Third place finish for you, Bailey. Another decent result. Got the win at Daytona, and obviously you said still a little bit of a learning curve. This Gen 4 car, sixth place at Vegas. You improve P3 here. Just from your perspective, switching from the next gen car to this car, trying to learn a little bit to get faster. Do you think you did a good job of learning?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I felt like we were probably top one, top two cars tonight. I mean, there was a few guys in the mix. You had Jeff, Josh, AJ, all those guys up front. But we got the damage early from Chad. Don't know why I have a magnet on my car for him to hit me every week, but it seems to be there. So that was unfortunate. I had to go to the rear of the field, drove from 33rd all the way back to the top three. And then we wanted to go off cycle with some pit strategy, and I think we were in a good position to win it. I mean, those guys were all gonna have to pit again, and I was ahead of everybody else that was on the fuel save, and felt really comfortable with the number I was trying to hit. So, after that, we lost some track position and had to work our way back up, and it just I wish this would have been a midday race where the car wouldn't have tightened up so much. Going later into the run, I felt like we really had a good control of the car in every lane we needed to go to. So, just wish it was a little more maneuverable at the end, and maybe would have had a shot at Jeff. But we'll be happy with the P3 result, especially after getting wrecked on lap 2 or 3.
And I asked Jeff pretty much the same question. Obviously, you didn't lead as much as Jeff, led 6 laps tonight. So you were at the front for a little while. What were your thoughts on how the draft was changing the race? Because we saw multiple drivers get the lead or trying to get the lead, go to the inside, fall back to about 8th. I mean, it seemed like the draft was a huge factor in how you raced.
Yeah, especially early in the race. I think as we went into the night, it wasn't quite as big of a deal. It seemed like the air bubble actually started to come in a little bit. But yeah, early in the race, AJ and Josh and I were just sitting in a line. There was really nowhere to go. You're just going to guard your right rear, and they're all going to build a run behind you. So do you want to try to break the draft, or as teammates, we were kind of just trying to manage it a little bit. And I would break the draft a little bit to kind of stall their runs, but at a certain point, it really was a mute point. So I think they said they're going to update this car and turn the draft down, which will be nice, because I don't remember ever watching a Gen 4 race where it was just a next gen draft package down the straightaways. So I'm looking forward to a few changes coming.
Yeah, definitely get a few changes of the car in the seasonal update, but either way, still learning the car. A P3 finish for you, still a good points day to stay right close to that lead in the title fight, which we're a long ways away from, but staying high in the points still matters. So congrats on that. Anyone else you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, shout out to Chad for wrecking me again. Shout out to the teammates over at Sad Boys. Unfortunate finishes for AJ and Josh, who really were 2 dominant cars throughout the night. So, you get back there with the squirrels and stupid things happen. So, shame for them. Shout out to Angelo and Jacob for joining us tonight. It was fun, and him and I were on a fuel saving strat that I thought was really going to put us 1-2. So, obviously you guys over at the broadcast, and then everybody who supports the league.
Well, I'm sure we'll see the 24 and 09 next to each other next week. But until then, we'll see you at Rockingham. Bailey, thanks for talking to us. Decent run again. See you at the Rock.
For sure.
There's Bailey Turner, your third place finisher. Sounds like he's a little upset with how some of these guys conducted themselves tonight, but that's part of racing. We had 41 cars on this racetrack, and we've been putting up numbers well over the 40 since this season 4 started.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, we've had the numbers for a few seasons now, but even with all the different drivers we're getting in and out of the league, I mean, we've seen so many times where 24 and 09, they're like a magnet, whether it's a 24 hitting a 09 or vice versa, kind of like we saw tonight. They seem like they're always into it at some point, always roughing each other up, always getting into it somehow. It just seems like every other race, those two find each other. Would not be surprised to see them next to each other at the Rock next week. And, you know, not really a short track in speed, but definitely a smaller track that should have a lot of action.
Absolutely will be action-packed. We have kind of 2 short tracks, if you want to get technical. The Rockingham is just a place that, you know, NASCAR is trying to revive. Went back there in the Xfinity Series at the beginning of the year. Thunder Alley. It's just, the Rock is one of the best places, and this car thrived at it back in the early 2000s. You can catch that here on VSPEED. We'll go to Iowa for week 4 and Rockingham, September 6th, 7:45 p.m. Eastern for the Challenger Series. And then it's on to Cup Series action at 10 p.m. Eastern. You can catch that all here live on VSPEED. Go ahead and set your DVRs. I think, is that still a thing, Connor? Do people set DVRs? I don't think that's a thing anymore.
Probably not, but if they want to, they can. I'm not going to stop them.
Yeah, you can hit the subscribe button and get a notification. It's a lot simpler times we live in. But outside of that, for everybody here at VSPEED, Connor Horn, our co-commentary, doing a fantastic job as always. Anna Baker, Eddie Smith, Morgan Cook, the co-owners, Logan Threlkeld, and Lucas Lyons, the other producers. This is Bradley Cooper saying so long from Auto Club Speedway. We'll see you in 7 days here on VSPEED. Till then, stay tracking, everybody.